known as the Radhikashtakam, written by, or too high, volume, written by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami in his book named Govinda Leela Amruta. Radhashtami, Radharani's appearance day is coming very soon, not very far away. We glorify Radharani. Kumkumakta kanchanabja garvahari gaurava Kumkumakta kanchanabja garvahari gaurava Pītanāncitābja gandha kirti nindi saurabha Pītanāncitābja gandha kirti nindi saurabha Vallavesha sunu sarva vanchitāta radhika Vallavesha sunu sarva vanchitāta sadhika Kamayamatna pada padma dasa dastu radhika Kamayamatna pada padma dasa dastu radhika Govinda kanti nindi chitra patta sathika కనిపించదు Govinda kanti nindri chitra patta sathika Krishna matta bhringa keli pulla pushpa vatika Krishna matta bhringa keli pulla pushpa vatika Krishna nitya sangamatma padma bandhu radhika Krishna nitya sangamatma padma bandhu radhika Mayamatma pada padma dasa dastu radhika Mayamatma pada padma dasa dastu radhika Sokumarya srishta pallavali kirti nigraha Sokumarya srishta pallavali kirti nigraha Chandra chandra notbalendu sevya sita vigraha Chandra chandra notbalendu sevya sita vigraha Swabhimarsha ballavisha kamatapa badika Swabhimarsha ballavisha kamatapa badika Mayamatma pada padma dasa dastu radhika Mayamatma pada padma dasa dastu radhika Vishwavanya yovata bhivandita piya Rama Vishwavanya yovata bhivandita piya Rama Rupanam yovanadi sampadana yat यस्समा रूपनव्य यौवनादि संपदान यस्समा शीलहार्दलीलया च सायतोऽस्ति नाधिका शीलहार्दलीलया च सायतोऽस्ति नाधिका मय्यमात्मपादपद्मदासदास्तु राधिका मय्यमात्मपादपद्मदासदास्तु राधिका रासलास्य गीत नर्म सत्कलालि पंडिता रासलास्य गीत नर्म सत्कलालि पंडिता प्रेम रम्य रूप वेश सद्गुणालि मंडिता प्रेम रम्य रूप वेश सद्गुणालि मंडिता विश्वनव्य गोपयोषि दालितोऽपि याधिका विश्वनव्य गोपयोषि दालितोऽपि याधिका मय्यमात्मपादपद्मदासदास्तु राधिका मय्यमात्मपादपद्मदासदास्तु राधिका नित्य नव्य रूप केलि कृष्ण भाव संपदा नित्य नव्य रूप केलि कृष्ण भाव संपदा कृष्ण राग बंध गोप यौवतेषु कंपदा कृष्ण राग बंध गोप यौवतेषु कंपदा कृष्ण रूप वेश केलि लग्न सत्समाधिका कृष्ण रूप वेश केलि लग्न सत्समाधिका मय्यमात्मपादपद्मदासदास्तु राधिका मय्यमात्मपादपद्मदासदास्तु राधिका स्वेदकम्पकण्टकासु गद्गदादि संचिता स्वेदकम्पकण्टकासु गद्गदादि संचिता मर्षहर्ष वामतादि भावभूषणान्विता मर्षहर्ष वामतादि भावभूषणान्विता कृष्ण नेत्र तोषिरत्न मंडनालिदाधिका कृष्ण नेत्र तोषिरत्न मंडनालिदाधिका मय्यमात्मपादपद्मदासदास्तु राधिका मय्यमात्मपादपद्मदासदास्तु राधिका या क्षणार्ध कृष्ण विप्रयोग संततोदिता या क्षणार्ध कृष्ण विप्रयोग संथिता संततोदिता नेक दैन्य चापलादि भाव वृंद मोदिता नेक दैन्य चापलादि भाव वृंद मोदिता यत्न लब्ध कृष्ण संग निर्गता किलाधिका यत्न लब्ध कृष्ण संग निर्गता किलाधिका मय्यमात्म पाद पद्म दास दस्तु राधिका मय्यमात्म पाद पद्म दास दस्तु राधिका Now Phalashruti, what is the benefit of reciting this one? Ashtakena yastvanena nauti Krishna vallabham. Ashtakena yastvanena nauti Krishna vallabham. Darshane pishaila jadi yoshidali dullabham. दर्शने पिशैल जादि योषिदालि दुर्लभम कृष्ण संग नंदितात्म दास सीधु भाजनम कृष्ण संग नंदितात्म दास सीधु भाजनम तम करोति नंदितालि संचयासु साजनम तम करोति नंदितालि संचयासु साजनम मह्यमात्म पाद पद्म दास दस्तु राधिका मय्यमात्म पाद पद्म दास दस्तु राधिका मय्यमात्म पाद पद्म दास दस्तु राधिका मय्यमात्म पाद पद्म दास दस्तु राधिका हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 राम हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे जय राधा मदन मोहन राधा मदन मोहन श्री राधे जय राधा मदन मोहन श्री राधे जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेव माता सुभद्रा ना जय गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय Ranitai Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada Jaya Jaya. Yom Shubha Parhamsa Parivraj Kacharya Stottar Shata Srimad Divan Grace Avicharna Aravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swamara Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Godi Vaishnava Vrind Ki Jai Namacharya Sridhar Thakur Jai Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai Radha Krishna Govinath Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Sri Sri Radha Madan Mohan Ki Jai Sri Sri Jagannath Subhadra Baldev Ki Jai Sri Sri Gaur Nitai Ki Jai Jagat Rusla Prabhupada Ki Jai. All glories to assembled it is. All glories to assembled. All glories to Guru and Gauranga, all glories to Lord Prabhupada. So translation लगा ना? अच्छा. One by one read each. One there. When we read the translation, then only we understand what great Acharya.
Her splendorous golden complexion steals the pride of a golden lotus flower, anointed with a tinge of red kumkum. Her sweet fragrance mocks the fame of the aroma of a lotus flower sprinkled with saffron powder. She is fully qualified to fulfill all the desires of the son of the king of the cowherd men. May Shri Radhika bestow upon me the service of her own lotus feet.
Then to next one.
Her amazing and colorful silken garments make the splendor of red coral feel ashamed. She is a garden of blossoming flowers where the maiden bumblebee named Krishna performs amorous pastimes. She worships the sun god daily in order to attain the continuous association of her beloved Krishna. May Sri Radhika bestowed upon me the service of her own lotus feet.
Her charming youthful delicacy negates the fame of the fresh sprouted leaves. Her freshening form is worthy of being served by the cooling moon, sandalwood paste, lotus flower, and camphor. When she touches the master of the gopis, she dispels the burning heat of his lusty desires. May Sri Radhika bestow upon me the service of her own lotus feet.
Although the goddess of fortune, Lakshmi Devi, is adored by other youthful goddesses who are themselves glorified throughout the universe, still she is nowhere near Sri Radhika in the matter of beauty, praiseworthy youthfulness, or other divine feminine opulences. There is no one in the material or the spiritual world that is superior to Radhika in the expression of naturally loving pastimes. May Sri Radhika bestow upon me the service of her own lotus feet.
She is very learned in many transcendental arts, such as performing the rasa dance, singing, and joking. She is decorated with many divine qualities, such as loving nature, exquisite beauty, and wonderful garments and ornaments. Even among the cowherd damsels of Raja, who are praised by the entire universe, she is the best in every way. May Sri Radhika bestow upon me the service of her own lotus feet.
She possesses the opulence of eternal youthful beauty, eternal pastime, and eternal love of Krishna. Her ecstatic feelings of love of Krishna cause of the gopis, who are also in the love with Krishna, to tremble. She is always attached to meditating on the Sri Krishna beauty forms, ornaments, garments, and pastimes. May Radhika bestow upon me the service of her lotus feet.
She is graced with the 8 ecstatic symptoms Sattvika Bhava, such as trembling, perspiring, standing upon the bodily hairs, tears, faltering of the voice, and so forth. She is adorned with the different ecstatic emotional ornaments, such as impatience, joy, contentedness, and so forth. She is decorated with the beautiful jewels that give total delight to the eyes of Krishna. May Sri Radhika bestow upon me the service of her own lotus feet.
If she is apart from Krishna for even half a moment, she becomes stricken with wretched suffering, restlessness, and a multitude of other ecstatic symptoms of separation. When she regains the association of Krishna after some effort, then all of her anguish immediately vanishes. May Sri Radhika bestow upon me the service of her own lotus feet.
It is very difficult for Parvati and other exalted goddesses to attain even a glimpse of Srimati Radharani, who is dear to Lord Krishna. But if someone glorifies her by reciting these 8 verses, then she who is delighted by Krishna's continuous association will grant the sweet nectar of her personal service to that person, who thereby enters the assembly of her similarly delighted girlfriends.
Hare Krishna. Sri Radhika Ashtangam ki jai. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami ki jai. Glory of Radharani. Radha Ashtami is coming, so we thought that we will glorify Radharani. The last time they said that it's not possible to Bhagavati Parvati to see Radharani. They all can see Mahalakshmi, no, easily, not Radharani. To see Radharani, only devotional service. In the Brahmayur Purana, the one chapter called Krishna Khanda, there nicely mentioned how appearance of Radharani. And also mentioned that if anybody say Radha, when the moment we say Ra, Krishna is ready to give all opulences. When you say Dha, Krishna becomes yours. In 2 verses nicely explained it. That is the glory of Radharani. Wherever Krishna hears that Radha, then he is there. That's why Bhaktivinoda Thakur also, and Nam Chintamani says, when you are chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, Radha and Krishna are there. They want to dance our tongue. But when you are chanting, but I mind, verbally chanting, but mind is somewhere else, too busy. Then Lord, so too busy, let us go back. So whenever we say Radha, Krishna, they are always present. We can feel that presence of the Lord when sincerely chanting. That's why Prabhupada says, do the attentive chanting. Yasyānubhāvamakala srutisāramekam ajjhatma-dīpamatite-shitāṃ tamondam samsārinām karunayā purāna guhyam tamyāsasunumupayāmi gurum muninginām Nārayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim yasam tato jayamadirayet nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavate uttama-shloke bhaktir bhavati naistike Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya Today we will continue 4th canto of the Bhagavatam, chapter 25th, chapter Characteristics of King Puranjana, text 17. Chapter canto is 4th canto describing the creation of the 4th order. Okay. Puryastu Bhayopavane Divya Druma Latakule Nadad Vihangali Kula Kolahala Jalashaye Puryastu Bhayopavane Divya Druma Latakule Nadad Vihangali Kula Kolahala Jalashaye Puriyastu Bhayopavane Devyadrumalata Kule Nadadvyangalikula Kolahala Jalashaye Puriyastu Bhayopavane Devyadrumalata Kule Nadadvyangalikula Kolahala Jalashaye Puriyastu Bhayopavane Nadadvyangalikula Kolahala Jalashaye Puriyastu Bhayopavane Devyadrumalata Kule Kolahala Jala Puryaha of the town to then Bhaya Upavane in an outside garden Divya very nice Druma trees Lata creepers Akule filled with Nadat vibrating Vihanga birds Ali bees Kula groups of Kolahala humming Jalashaye with a lake. Translation purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. On the outskirts of the city were many beautiful trees and creepers encircling a nice lake. Also surrounding that lake were many groups of birds and bees that were always chanting and humming. Purport. Since the body is a great city, there must be various arrangements such as lakes and gardens for sense enjoyment. Of the various parts of the body, those which incite sexual impulses are referred to here indirectly. Because the body has genitals, when the living entity attains the right age, he be man or woman, he became agitated by the sex impulse. As long as one remains a child, he is not agitated by seeing a beautiful woman. Also the sense organs are present. Unless the age is ripe, there is no sex impulse. The favorable conditions surrounding the sex impulse are compared here to a garden or a nice solitary park. When one sees the opposite sex, naturally the sex impulse increases. It is said that if a man in a solitary place does not become agitated upon seeing a woman, he is considered a brahmachari. But this practice is almost impossible. The sex impulse is so strong even by seeing, touching or talking, coming into contact, or even thinking of the opposite sex, even in so many subtle ways, one becomes sexually impelled. Consequently, a brahmachari or sannyasi is prohibited to associate with women, especially in a secret place. The Shastra enjoined that one should not even talk to a woman in a secret place, even if she happens to be one's own daughter, sister, mother. The sex impulse is so strong that even if one is very learned, he becomes agitated in such circumstances. If this is the case, how can a young man in a nice park remain calm and quiet after seeing a beautiful young woman? Om ajnanatimiraandhasya jnananjana shalakaya yachanmilitam yena tasmai sri gurave namaha Sri Chaitanya Manovishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavam Cha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakanutam Cha Namah Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pachacha Desatarini He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Kasturi Tilakam Lalata Patale Vachastale Kaustuvam Nasagre Varamoktikam Karatale Venum Kare Kankanam Sarvange Harichandanam Saritam Kanthe Chamuktavali Gopastri Pariveshtito Vijete Gopala Chudamani Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripasindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. The Puranjanopakhyanam, its story. We all know the Barisat was the great grandson of Prithu Maharaj. Prithu Maharaj's son, Antardhana also, Vishwajit also. His son Avirdhana, Avirdhan's son, he had 6 sons, eldest was Barisat. Okay, remaining. So Barisat had 10 sons, who is known as Prachetas. On the instruction of the father, early age only they went for performing the austerities. So, here the point is that we can see in the Daksha Prajapati also told his sons to get married and increase the progeny. Immediately they went for austerities. That's why Srila Prabhupada also says, every young man must become a brahmachari. Means, brahmachari is the life to control the senses. Marriage means not just to enjoy. Enjoying the life little bit permitted according to scriptures in the married life, but most important to control the senses. If one doesn't know how to control the senses, then he becomes slave to the sensual enjoyment. It will degrade himself. The very purpose for which the Lord has given a human form of the life, it is defeated. Many people think that human form of life is to enjoy. The Bhagavatam gives that idea what is the nature of the human body, what is happening, how to get out of this one. Puranjanopakhyanam, what we are studying, it is giving the lesson to us. How Barisat engaged in the fruity activities, the karma kanda, sacrificing, killing the so many animals, pitying upon that unnecessary killing. Narada Maharshi comes to give some transcendent knowledge. The king says, no, I am doing the karma kanda according to these scriptures so that I can free from the material troubles and enjoy the life. Narada Maharshi said, no. By performing the fruity activity karma kanda, you cannot be freed from these two. But when you do some karma to counter some other karma, there is another karma related. When the two forces act again, third force is created. It is not possible. We should do that activity by which there is no reaction. And it will also counter it. To explain that, because Barisat was completely engaged in the material activities, he does not have the transcendental knowledge. And a person who doesn't have the transcendental knowledge, difficult to explain the spiritual knowledge immediately. So, he giving the example, story-wise. What is the nature of the soul? What is the body? So that is called Puranjana Upakhyan. Puranjana means, the Prabhupada gives the example in the same chapter. Pura means this body. The one who is in this body is soul. When somebody asks, what is your name? He says, my name. Why he say my name? When he say, what is this? It's my hand, my body, my eyes. Why do you say my hand? I am the body, I am the hands. You are separating yourselves. So that the one who is separating this, with this body is called the soul, Atma, that is Jana, here it, Puranjana, the one who is staying in this body. So he is trying to explain nicely to the king. Through the media of the king is explained to us actually. So here, the why is explaining, as I said, the purpose of, sometimes people say that, oh, Bhagavatam is not written in the scriptures are not in the chronological order, not acceptable. Many people say, so-called educated. Or scriptures have nothing to do with your chronological data. Dharmartha kama mochhanam iti. Sukadeva Goswami says that. Our scriptures are written dharmartha kama moksha for the purpose. How one should do the dharma. How should fulfill his economic development. How much he maintain the family. What is the nature, how to maintain it. Then how to good for the fourth object of the life, liberation. Even form of the life is meant to get the liberation, not to enjoy. Enjoyment is there in each and every species of life. In fact, other species of life other than human being, they enjoy more than human being. A hawk can produce 15 to 20 children. Is it? Can a human being produce in one go? Ahara nidra bhayamaitanam chasamanyameva pashavir narana. Eating, sleeping, mating and fear is there each and every species of life. Whether mosquito or animal or birds, in every species of life it is there. In what way we, the human being, are greater than those animals, two-legged animals? Lord has given the developed consciousness, intelligence to us. There are different levels of consciousness. 5 levels of consciousness we can find across the living entity, all the living entities. One is the covered consciousness, Avrita Chetana, which is we will find in the trees. Science also agrees that the trees also got consciousness. 1959, if I am not wrong, J. Roy scientifically proved it. And better than the animals, the trees are the birds and animals. They got the Sankhuchetana. They have the consciousness, that's why you can beat the tree, it doesn't respond. But if you beat the dog, it will respond, run away. Is it? It feels pain. But human being, we got 3 types of Mukulita Chetana, sprout consciousness, Viksit Chetana, blossom consciousness, Purna Viksit Chetana, fully blossom consciousness. Sometimes we try to teach someone, in the teachers in the primary school, they don't understand so easily, 10 times. And I think India what say? Tu gadha. It is a common word in India, villages. So they are better conscious than the animals and birds, but very little. Sprout, about the flower is about to open, but it is sprout consciousness. Middle you will find blossom consciousness. I am telling you that the Bhagavatam meant for to think it. For the human being, they have to think it. Because we have got the different higher level consciousness As the consciousness is there, intelligence is also higher level. So mostly we find blossom. Higher, fully blossom consciousness, all the demigods, very few in the human life. Just like 1,000 people are studying the science degree. How many of them go to master's degree? Your student, is it? Tell me how many? Let us take 10%, is it? 100. How many of them do the PhD? Let us take 10%. 10. Out of those PhD normally they find the thesis and write submit. But really who invent something? You know the radio was big. Now it is more hand watch. Somebody did. They put efforts, mind, is it? Those are the people in the fully developed consciousness, fully blossomed consciousness. We have, but few. Okay. Those fully developed consciousness, their responsibility becomes more to understand the human form of the life, not to spend the human form of the life in the sense of gratification alone. That's why scriptures again and again says, utilize this human body. Purpose of human body is to get out of this material. We don't belong to this one, this material world. We all belong to spiritual world, Vaikuntha. Golokameva nivasatyakilatma bhuta Govinda Purusham tamaham bhajam. The Lord Brahma says it. Every living entity belongs to the spiritual world. We came here. How did we came? That is, we don't know. Lord sent it. Sometimes you send your son to America to study. He's studying very well, getting the progress report. Along with the studies, he may be doing some other activity, playing the soccer game, going to some clubs or make some friends. While doing so, he may be subject to action and reaction of other activity. You didn't tell him, go to the college and study. But while doing so, does other activity, in the same way, the Lord sent us to this material world. We do the activity for which we came here, but in addition we do engage in some other activity, for that reaction is there. For the reaction is that we continue the cycle of birth and death. We have the desires. To fulfill each desire, we have to take a birth. That's why Srila Prabhupada gives that only our desire should, that how I can make Radha, Mother Mohan happy. If you read the purport of Srila Prabhupada, very deep meaning. In Padma Puran mentioned that, where the Bhagavat Mahatya, there are two Bhagavat glorification of Bhagavatam, Skanda Puran and Padma Puran. Padma Puran very, everybody read that, Gokarna Upakyan. In the third chapter, the Sanat Kumar says that anyone reading one verse of the Bhagavatam every day, he gets liberated. I think how it is possible. Srila Prabhupada knows that we are not in a fully position to 100% devotee. But Srila Prabhupada has given us different facilities for the devotees. Association of the devotees, hearing Bhagavatam from the devotees. You don't find any other organization in the Bharat or anywhere other than ISKCON and to regularly have the Bhagavatam class. You don't find it. You see, go other math, you can go and see it. And you don't find anywhere ask question and investigate. So the Prabhupada has given this hearing because association with the devotees is the most important than anything. More we take association with the devotees, that is superior than the liberation. Tulayam alavi napi nasargam na punarbhavam bhagavad sangha sangasya matyanam kimutisya. Hanuman also, the Ramayana also comes very nice. Tata sarga apavarga sako dharai tula ekang tulu natai sakalameli josukalavas. It is translation to Hindi. So association, and very rare that association is given. Srila Prabhupada has given the opportunity for us. And hearing Bhagavatam, Krishna's pastime, When you are hearing Bhagavatam, we are with Krishna. Padma Puran says in one question, Uddhava asked that, my Lord, you are living, where can I find it? Lord made into scripture, I am in the Puranas. That's why you can see, in the Vrindavan, in what you can go when they do the Bhagavatam, they don't carry like that one. They all are wrapped in the saffron cloth. Villagers, they come to hear the Bhagavatam class. First they pay obeisance to the deities, and they pay obeisance to the Bhagavatam. They pay obeisance to the one who talking as preacher, then pay obeisance to audience. You can see villagers. They don't know, but they know that Bhagavatam is not different from Krishna. And why pay obeisance to the audience? Why? Because they know that wherever the Bhagavatam is spoken, Vyasa Maharshi, Sukadeva Goswami, Uddhava Maharaj, Krishna is there. That's why villagers, they don't, but they pay obeisance. It's that also. Wherever the Bhagavatam is spoken, Uddhava Maharaj is there, Sukadeva Goswami is there. Just like wherever the Ramayan is recited, Hanuman is there. That's why I didn't go to, along with Ram, Sri Ram to Vaikuntha. I said, no, what I am going to do? Oh, you can be there in Vaikuntha, what is there? I can't hear Ramayana there. Vaikuntha is good for the people who want to get liberated. For the devotees, they don't like it. They want to be here. Mama janmani janmani ishvara bhavatad bhakti rahiti kitvai. The hearing about the Lord's pastime is possible only on this earth planet. Nayatra Vaikuntha Katha Sudhapaga Nasadavu Bhagavat Tadasraya Nayatra Yagnesha Makhamochava Suresha Loko Pinava Sevyatam. Demigods, Devatas curse themselves. Even if it is a abode of Indra, which got all the facilities other than the Sarga, other Sarga, Vayu Deva, Agni Deva, Varuna Deva. They say that if the place where they know offer opportunity to hear the Bhagavat Katha, which is like a nectar, so Katha Sudhapaga. Sukadeva Goswami compares the nectar to the piece of glass. In the Bhagavad Mahatma, in the beginning only, Ka Katha Ka Sudha Loke, Ka Kachit Ka Manir Mahan. Why? Because the nectar, what is the nectar? It cannot give the liberation, but Bhagavatam can give liberation. That's why Srila Prabhupada given an opportunity to all the devotees that yes, Bhagavatam, association of the devotees, chanting and recitation. Because Sanas Kumar writes, then after that I started thinking how great is Prabhupada. See, he has given an opportunity that every day we can recite Bhagavatam. Even say that if you don't have time to recite one verse, recite half verse. Then I thought, how it is possible? In 1 year, how many verses we can chant? 300. For 1,000 verses, 3 years. To recite whole Bhagavatam every day, one verse, how many years takes? 54 years. If you are chanting, reciting Bhagavatam 54 years in a regulated way, don't you think you get purified? Every verse in the Bhagavatam, the mantra. Why? Because it's spoken by the Lord. So every verse in the Bhagavatam capable of delivering the man. If you study, seriously understand. One is understand facially. As the senses get purified, we get into deep. The same verses are spoken by so many acharyas, so many writing, big books. Never ends. Nobody says, no acharya can say that, oh, I completely wrote the Bhagavatam. No. Beyond imagination. Hari Ananta, Hari Katha Ananta. So here also, the Bhagavatam very nicely explaining the human form of the life, as I said, that human form of the life is not to enjoy the material world, but get out of this material world. Labdha sudullabamidam bahusambhavante manushyamartadamanityamapi hadira turnam yate tanapatet anmrutyayavad nisreyasaya vishaya kalu sarvatasya. Human form body, labdha sudullabha, very difficult, rare to get it. Even it is not possible for the human demigod, devatas in the heavenly plan to get this human body. We think that I should go to heaven. But the devatas, demigods in heaven planet, they say, oh, how unfortunate we are here. Read Bhagavatam 5th canto, 19th chapter, 21st verse. How they curse themselves. How unfortunate we are in heaven. How fortunate these people in the Bharatavarsha. That they are taken birth in the Bharat Bhumi, they are engaged in the devotional service to Krishna. They get liberated. But we can't get liberated. The earth, this Bharata Bhumi, earth planet, is the karma bhumi. Whatever type of karma we do, if I do the pious karma, I can go to heaven. If I do the sinful activity, I can go to hell or take a birth as human animal. But if I surrender to Krishna and chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare, we can get liberated to Vaikuntha. Destiny of this living entity, Jiva, depends upon what type of activity we do in this body. To enjoy the result of this activities performed in human body, we have the other 13 planetary system. Bhurloka, Sargaloka, Maharloka, Tapaloka, all these lokas, upper planet and lower planet system. Also there are 7 planets, Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Tala, Atala, Rasa, Atala, Pahatala, Patala. 13, we are in the between. 13 planetary systems are there to enjoy the result of activities performed in this human body. So, is it not rare to get this human body? But unfortunately, after taking the human body also, people engage in sense enjoyment. Like Prachina Bahari, not understanding the purpose of human form of the life. Even Lord Sri Rama also once, the gone days, they used to call all the people of the village, the town, and preach. It's the duty of the king to preach dharma. Okay. Pruth Maharaj also said it. Bade bhag manusha tan pava, suradullabha sab granthan gava, sadhana dhama mocha kar dwara, pai nahi paraloka samara. Same is spoken by Lord Krishna also. The final instruction to Uddhava. Hrudehamajyam sulabham sudullabham plavam sukalpam gurukarnadharam mayanukule nanavasvataritam bhavan pumavdinna taritatmaha. The human body is ready to get it. After passing through 8.4 million species of the life, we get the human body. And this human body is perfectly capable to work like a boat to cross the ocean of material existence. Sometimes people say, why it is called Bhava Sagar, Samsar Sagar? Why the material world compared to the ocean? There is no water here. The meaning is that as we stand on the bank of the ocean, other end we cannot see. Can we see? We cannot see. In the same way, when we came to this material world, we don't know the other end when we are going to reach the other end of this material world. That's why it is called Samsar Sagar, Bhava Sagar. To cross the material ocean, we cannot swim. We have to take a boat. In the same way, to cross this material existence of birth and death, the Lord perfectly made this human body to work as a boat to cross this material ocean of the birth and death. So who will drive this boat? Guru Karnadharam. When you take shelter of the spiritual master, he takes the responsibility. Because one has taken the shelter of the spiritual master in Parampara, Lord Krishna says that, Mayanukulena nabhasvataritam. My blessings will work as a favorable wind to cross the ocean. When you are rowing in the boat, favorable wind comes nicely, we can move through. If the unfavorable wind comes, we'll sink there. Because we are taking shelter, Lord Krishna says, my favorable wind, my blessings will work to cross this ocean. Bhavan Pumavdin Natareta. Having got such a wonderful body, if one do not try to cross this material existence, it's just like doing the self-committing the suicide. People think that when I commit suicide, I'm happy. No. The more horrible life than any other life. One has to live in this world as a ghost for many, many decades or centuries. Because Lord has given this body to do something, you trouble the body. So, all these things to explain about the nature of human body, the Narada Maharshi saying that the outskirts of the city, many beautiful trees and creepers are encircling the lake. Also surrounding that lake were many, many groups of birds and beasts that were always chanting and humming. So remember, the scriptures cannot be taken in a direct way. They are written in the literary way. In the gone days, about 30 years before, in every college there used to be literature class, and they used to be full. Nowadays, I don't know, is there anybody reading, studying literature? Huh? All the colleges, IT or MBBS. The whole world is running after the money. Which degree can give more money? I remember when we were students in 50s, 60s, that time nobody was running. They wanted to get the knowledge. Oh, it's BA literature. I respect it. They used to write BA literature. Nobody wanted to write it. Even if in the 1950s cinema songs you see, you have to think it, what does it mean? Nowadays, हम तुम कमरा में बंद है, चाबी खो जाए, कोई सोचने की जरूरत नहीं है, दिमाग का जरूरत नहीं आजकल तो सीधी गला है, पंजाबी में बोलते हैं ना, सीधी गला भाई. Because people do not know the literature. The Bhagavatam, all scriptures are written in the literary form. Sometimes if you take the meaning directly, we cannot understand it. Just like Narada Maharshi asked the sons of Daksha Prajapati, what is the river which flows both directions? And those who don't know the Bhagavatam say, what type of question it is? Narada Maharshi is a crazy guy. What is that cave that once you go, never will come back? But those who got that literary understanding, you understand that Bhagavatam or any scripture, what does it mean to talk it? So the Bhagavatam, that's why our Acharyas, Bhagavatam has to be understood from the Acharyas. We should not try to read. Sometimes say that, oh, I'm reading Bhagavatam every day. Fine, okay, good. No, Prabhu, I'm reading Bhagavatam every day in my house. Okay, reading fine, but what you are understanding? Bhaktivinoda Thakur, what is Ekaki Hamara Nahi Paya Bala. I don't have the strength to do Bhakti myself. When we hear from someone, we understand better than reading themselves. Okay. So, Srila Prabhupada has given that opportunity. What does it mean by this today's verse? Outside of the city, many beautiful trees. All this chapter Puranjana can allegorically explain it. Okay. Sometimes say that this princess is so beautiful, even the moon god also feels shy of it. Do you think that she is more beautiful than moon? No, it is a comparison, alankar. So here Srila Prabhupada gives what does that mean by these cities and all. The body is a great city, there must be various arrangements. Such as the lakes and gardens for enjoyment. Of the various parts of the body, those which incite sexual impulses are referred to here indirectly. Sometimes people say, why the Bhagavatam talk about the sexual? The entire world is moving around the sex impulses. If one who can be freed from the sex impulse or control, then you control everything. It's not easy to control. The material world is removing. The great sages some also get fall down. Vishwamitra Maharshi, 60,000 years, performed austerity without eating. But he thought that I'm controlling, but he could not control himself. They're very strong too. When the moment we think that I am controlling myself means you are already under the Maya. No one controls the Maya. The more we say that we are under the Maya. So no. By the mercy of my spiritual master and Krishna, I'm trying to. So here, because the sex is the cause of the sex impulse is the cause of our fall down in the material world. That's why acharyas and all scriptures stress on how to control the sex. Yes, nice food is very good. First class preparations are there. If you eat little, it is healthy. Oh, food is very good, let me eat more and more. What will happen? After that, you can't even move it. Okay. Anything is, one should use it in the restricted way. Unrestricted anything, ati sarvatra varjate. One apple is a day is good for, no, keep the doctor away. But eat 3 apples a day, definitely you go to cancer hospital. Try yourself. So Ayurveda also says, any doctor, allopathy doctor said, excess is bad. So, nothing is bad in this material world unless you use the regulated way. That's a Srila Prabhupada talking on this sex impulses. How sex impulse can downgrade the human living entity. Okay? Because the body has the genitals. When the living entity attains the right age, he or man, he becomes agitated by sex impulse. The right age, what is that? Up to 12 years, you can see the children, boys and girls play together. They don't feel any shyness. They don't know what is sex. Nowadays, because of the bloody TVs, we are getting that. Even boys also getting quiet. Those who want to keep their children safe, don't show the TV. TV is nothing to just, if you, were the 700 years Muslims ruling, 200 years British ruling could not destroy the Sanatana Dharma, and this one-eyed demon destroyed Sanatana Dharma, not only Sanatana, all the dharmas, humanity within 30 years. Before 91, there is no color TV in India. Only we used to hear Doordarshan, is it? Which is agriculture program, nice programs. Once this multi-channel TV has come, all the nonsense has come. I said one eye died demon. Why? Because it only got one eye. So if you want children or anyone, let us stay away from the TVs and all this. It spoils everything, mind and culture. So as long as one remains a child, he is not entering. Because up to 12 years of age, the senses are not developed. That's why children do not feel the sexual impulse. They don't feel difference even. The moment enter the 13, without being told, automatically boys and girls get separated. You can practically see children playing. When they come to 13 years of age, they feel little shy. It means senses are developed now. At the time they feel shy. They understand. Srila Prabhupada says that although the sense child is not agitated by the seeing the beautiful woman, although sense organs are present, unless the age is ripe, there is no impulse. The favorable conditions surrounding the sex impulse are compared to here to the garden. The beautiful garden means a beautiful situation. Okay. It is so strong that nobody can say that I can control my sex impulse. Not possible. The moment I say I can control, you are already uncontrolled. You might have seen, South Indians all know the tamarind trees, is it? The leaves, even if they are dry, completely dry. take the leaves, put in the water for 15-20 minutes, squeeze them and drink the water. You see what the taste. It looks like tamarind, is it? Sex impulse, whether man or woman, it is like that one. Looks like it died, but it never goes out. Unless one is proper, only you can control, restrict it, not that, oh, I am free from. No. Once Narada Maharshi also said it. It's a big story, it comes in Vishnu Puran, taken in Ramayana also it comes up. So means that it's not possible, natural inherent, but it can be controlled in a different way. What is that? Engaging ourselves in devotional service. That's why Bhagavatam in the beginning said, Shrunatam sa kata Krishna punya sravana kirtanam Rudi antastoi abhadrani vidunu srosaram. Entire intent of the Bhagavatam or any scripture is how one can control the contaminations inside. External contamination, we take bath. Hey, I take 3 times bath. What is the word? The internal contamination. Kama, repeat with me, Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Machadi. Kama, desires. Krodha, anger. Lobha, greediness. Moha, attachment for the material things. Mad, false ego. Okay. And enviousness. These are byproduct of this one is that Mama, it is mine. These are the unseen enemies or contamination in us, everyone. That's why we are here. But how one can get out of this unseen contamination, greatest enemies? For that, the Bhagavatam beginning says, the best remedy is to hear pastimes of Krishna. As I say, Srunatam sa kata Krishna, Punya Sravana Kirtanam, Hrudi Antaso, they are in our heart, it is unseen way. Somebody say, if they are there, why can't I see? We all have the mind. Anybody seen the mind? If I cannot see my mind, how can I see them? But those who got the karma, other people can see it. The eyes, its face, activity. These are unseen enemies, contaminations. But all can be purified, clean by hearing. We don't know it's washed out by hearing the pastimes of Krishna. That's why this is the easiest process given. By hearing the pastimes of Krishna, we can get. Why? Because the Lord's in holy name, so pure, anything come in contact with burn to ashes. The fire can burn the good things and bad things, but fire can always remain the pure. It never get contaminated. In the same way, holy name is such a powerful that just by hearing and come in contact with destroy all the contaminations, internal and external. So that's why the Bhagavatam is there. So how we have to understand what is the contamination, what is the biggest impulse in human life, of the life, which make a downgrade, fall to the lowest animal. And that is the sex impulse. Not only all other scriptures also they talk about it. You can't any religion. Unless one control this sex impulse, you cannot move forward. It is good, it is bad also. So that's why I say, they're giving example. Sex impulse is so strong that even by seeing, touching, and talking to the opposite person, you get the feeling. Even by just thinking, you start getting the mind agitated. Consequently, a brahmacharya sannyasi is prohibited to associate with women. So, opposite sex. Not that only men get, no. Men and women both get the feeling, but somebody express, others do not. The most possibility for the man to fall down in comparison to the opposite sex. They have the control. Lord has given the strength, physical strength to the man. Because mentally we are weak. But the women, they got the less physical strength, but mentally they are more strong than men. Just like you can see, a blind man keeps all the clothes combined, yours and all. Give the blind man. You will select only his clothes. Practically you can see it. How does he select it? He can't see the clothes. But how does he select his clothes? How does he select? By smelling. You can give to any blind man anything, he smells first. Because the Lord, he doesn't have the capacity to see, the Lord has given other sense more power to grasp it. When one is lacking, other will become strong here. So that's why I am giving this comparison. So the Shastras enjoin one should not talk to you, woman, opposite sex, in secret place. Okay? Talking in secret place prohibited to anyone, not allowed. When talk, especially those who are on the path of the spiritual life who understand the purpose of human form of the life, they never will talk in secret. What is the secret to talk? And when the mind is something thinking in the wrong, then you want to talk secretly. And when your mind is clean and nothing to worry, then why you want a secrecy? Then nothing. I want to talk to you secretly. Why? Because Prabhu, I want to say something. Why? Because I committed something wrong, so I want to talk to you. When I not committed anything wrong, why should I talk to anything? I can be open. So, talking to be in a secluded place with opposite sex is prohibited. We stop here. Any question you are welcome to ask. I said, the human form of the body is meant for liberation, not for this material enjoyment in the world. Enjoyment is there, each and every species of life. Mosquitoes produce more children than human beings. Fish produce more children than human beings. Sex enjoyment is the main cause. Our fall down, the one who controls that sex impulse can forward. Okay. Any question, welcome to ask. Okay. श्रीमद् भागवत पुराण की जय, जगत श्रील प्रपाद की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय.